This week on C Plus News Time, SNL gets political and Will and Grace join every other show from the early 2000s, late 90s, early 90s, late 80s, and early 80s to come back into the media ether. Revivals are great and all, but why can't we just live in the now? Let's enjoy what we have in this exact moment in time. Yeah, this blows. Taking me back to the days of Surge Soda, Gak, and Lisa Frank Trapper Keepers. Yeah, that's the ticket. Speaking of, let me get you 2 tickets to C Plus News Time.
It's C Plus News Time. Delivering to you the news you didn't know about, the news you didn't care about, and the news you didn't know you cared about. With host, Chad White. Now, here's that host, Chad White.
Here's my impression of a black guy naming his favorite Rob Reiner movie, When Harry Met Sally. Welcome back to C Plus News Time. I'm your host, Chad White, and this is the comedy news that you didn't know about for the week of October 24th, 2016. First up, Saturday Night Live is putting on an election special. Well, sort of. It's more of a collection of some of their election-based sketches. So really, Saturday Night Live is putting on a pre-taped election special. Yay! On Monday, November 7th, the storied sketch series will air 1 hour of politic-based skits from the recent seasons, which will no doubt include clips featuring Alec Baldwin and Kate McKinnon as giant douche and turd, respectively. This season has proved to be SNL's most fruitful in 2 years. NBC said that more than 7 million viewers on average are tuning in weekly, with the premiere gaining an additional 4 million from live plus same-day viewings. All of this is in thanks in part to this crazy election. SNL has been doing this for over 40 years now, so they're used to the hard-hitting jokes and the intention that comes with it. Back in 1975, Chevy Chase's Gerald Ford started a tradition of cast members playing presidents. His portrayal of Ford was less of an impression and more of a vehicle for jokes, but it paid off, and Chase's Ford appeared 3 more times before the winter break. Dan Aykroyd's Jimmy Carter came about in 1976 during the debate sketch where Ford went up against Carter. It was an evolution type deal, as Aykroyd's Carter sported a graying wig and matching mustache. The sketch itself had as many laughs as today's, which is a lot. The late and great Phil Hartman performed Ronald Reagan, as did 6 others. Then there's H.W., who was covered mostly by Dana Carvey's impeccable impersonation. And Bush himself even cameoed during a 1994 cold open. Clinton, of course, was covered by Daryl Hammond along with Carvey, Hartman, Michael McKean, and Beck Bennett once or twice. Hammond's take is likely the most eerie, with Carvey's in a close second. Both men cover Old Bill to great effect. We all know Will Ferrell's George W. as one of the funniest impersonations on the series. Nothing more really needs to be said about that. And Fred Armisen and Jay Pharoah's Barry O were simply outstanding. Tina Fey, too, is held in high regard for her portrayal of Sarah Palin. Her wit and delivery of lines killed in just about every scene. She took mannerisms and the verbal nature of the governor and quadrupled them to comedic effect. It was simply masterful, and whatever Kate McKinnon does is always 100% fantastic. This special isn't the first time that SNL has bundled together some of its material, and it certainly won't be the last. However, it should be a nice little way to wrap a bow on America's current journey down the toilet drain, all the while making us laugh our butts off. And finally, it was announced late last week that Will and Grace is coming back, or not. Who knows? NBC does. I'll tell you that much. TV Line reported that NBC was in preliminary talks to bring back the hit comedy about a gay guy and his butchly female friend who can't get a date. I don't really know the story because I never watched the show. Nonetheless, series creators David Cohan and Max Muchnick, along with actors Eric McCormick, Deborah Messing, Megan Mullally, and Sean Hayes, are reportedly into the idea. This comes about a month after the 4 reprised their hit roles for an election-themed minisode. The views and reception alone must have been a catalyst for talks, seeing as how NBC had nothing to do with the short that Cohan and Muchnick stealthily produced. Should the series come back, it'd be the first one of next year, if that's even its hypothetical premiere year. Revivals are the it thing in Hollywood right now. Oh, and keep in mind that revivals and reboots are 2 completely different things. Revivals are bringing back ended series. This is decided by executives who find that the market is ready for a return to a familiar universe. Reboots are complete redesigns to existing franchises. That's how we end up with 3 Smurfs movies, 3 Fantastic Four movies, 2 Hitman movies, and 2 Punisher movies over the span of a couple of years. 2016 saw 4 shows return to the spotlight, admittedly to middling reception. Fuller House was just as sappy and muddy as its original. Heroes Reborn definitely felt like a post-2007 Heroes, and the much anticipated X-Files fell very much in line with the later seasons. There's no telling what the new Gilmore Girls is going to be like. Remakes are cool because instead of all the rules of the already put together universe just being thrown away, new stories can develop from already foundationalized material. Made up word. The newly announced That's So Raven sequel series should have the titular character dealing with the same ESP quirk but with her children, as she's now a full-grown adult and single mother. Revivals can go really well, as evidenced by Disney's return to the world where it met the boy in Girl Meets World. It started out easy enough, but then stories and arcs transformed into multi-layered lessons where the main characters, led by Corey and Topanga's daughter, are learning who they are as young adults and what their actions mean to the rest of the world. It's beautiful, honestly, and fans of the original should definitely 100% check it out. But revivals can fail, and there are plenty to use as examples. The Brady Brides and the Bradys both stemmed from the original series and failed after a handful of episodes each. The Carol Burnett Show revival in 1991 did not draw viewers after the 9 episodes, even though the original ran for 11 seasons. More recently, both the new Dallas and Melrose Place were not accepted by viewers, and they lasted 2 and 1 season respectively. There are successful revivals though, the most notable being Doctor Who, which is still going hard since its 1963 and 2005 premieres. So where does that leave the potential Will and Grace season 9? Nowhere right now, but that show was a huge hit for NBC, especially when it was coupled with Friends. Its final 2 seasons saw a loss for the network, which opted to let the show go while it was still somewhat highly regarded. Its 2006 finale dug up 18 million viewers, a number that is only reserved for sporting events in 2016's preferred streaming age. Whatever the decision, NBC will have to tread very lightly. Revivals are tricky business, and one false move could result in the planned season being a one-off. And that's all the news I have for you for this week on C Plus News Time. Why don't you subscribe and check out one of our other videos? Of course, you can always head to the website cpluscomedy.com. We got the latest news, reviews, features, interviews, and other good comedy bits that only I can provide you with. Follow us on Twitter at C+Comedy. Follow me on Twitter at ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Tumble with us on Tumblr. And be sure to treat everything and everybody you know with great respect, because sometimes they might be revived and you'll be fighting a whole bunch of zombies. And that's a new no-no. Okay.